What good is a great meal without someone to share it with? On today's menu, food blogs full of recipes, reviews, and tales of culinary adventure. We're all reading them, but who's writing them? On the prowl in Hanoi for the best info.
Street food is the authentic food of the country. That's why I like to crawl around the gutters.
Hi, James!
Getting to know the blog world's ultimate insider.
I'm one of the earlier food bloggers, and yeah, it has opened quite a few doors.
Going incognito on the outskirts of Hong Kong.
I enjoy having a double life and escaping from work.
Revealing the sweet secrets of Paris.
I don't know what compels bloggers to share their life, but that's the good thing about the blogging medium is I write from a very personal point of view.
It's a dark place in the middle of what is a bustling, heaving market by day. This is night noodles in the Hung Bay market. There's lots of things around the periphery of the food, like the actual journey. Street food docudrama. My name's Mark Lowerson. I've got a food blog called Sticky Rice.
Once he discovered Hanoi's food culture, Mark Lowerson's life changed forever. Seduced by a labyrinth of restaurants and street stalls, he left Australia behind and now calls Vietnam home. Lowerson teaches English to pay the bills, but his real passion? Discovering Hanoi's unseen and untried and feeding it to readers worldwide in his daily blog, Sticky Rice.
I suppose I was at a bit of a loose end when I came to Vietnam on a holiday. A lot of my friends are married and settled down and they live in their own little worlds and they've got their mortgages. I don't necessarily fit into that kind of world anymore, and I find Asian culture in particular is a very vibrant society. It's very alive. Every time you turn around a corner you're surprised by something. The skies were darkening when I ventured out for a feed without a raincoat. And as my mate Tu and I pulled up outside this random eatery, motorbikes pulled up, raincoats pulled on. Wow, it's really coming down now. Street food is the authentic food of the country. I mean, you can go to the tourist cafes in town and get a doctored, dumbed down, westernised version of it. That's why I like to crawl around the gutters. Refers to the actual noodles. Once the soup's ready, it's just a matter of putting all the other ingredients together. And these are the fallopian tubes, the egg before it develops, the kidneys and the lungs, I think, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're the lungs. And these are kind of like sausages that are stuffed in the chicken skin.
Inside they have a pork, mushroom, two different kinds of mushroom.
Really good. If you're going to comment on Vietnamese food, then pho is something you would have to mention. Get your chopsticks out of that too, let me take a picture.
I'm sitting here and watching for hours.
Sorry, I won't be long. It's a great dish because you can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, you can have it for dinner, you can have it after you've been drinking at night. It's the quintessential Vietnamese dish. I think this is actually one of the best chicken phos I've ever had. It's a dark place in the middle of what is a bustling, heaving market by day. This is night noodles in the Hung Bay market. It's funny how temporary wet markets actually are. Stalls completely devoid of produce and chairs and odd bits of broken timber leaned up all over the place. This is a crowded evening noodle slurp shop. Night noodles is a more relaxed food experience. People have more time and they drink beer and dwell longer than they would over a breakfast bowl. The internet's pretty amazing that people can have their opinions and can interact with other people around the world. about what they think and what they perceive and what they see.
Hey, Joe. Hey. Oh, there's June. Hi. Hi, Kathleen. My name is PHIM. My last name is just so long. I just go by PHIM. Madonna doesn't need a second name. And I write a food blog called PHIM. PHIM is about food in all kinds of form. From something that you get on the street to Michelin 3-star restaurants. I'm an equal opportunity food lover.
In the world of food, PHIM knows everybody who is anybody. She is one of the brightest stars in Epicurean cyberspace, with one of the most popular blogs on the web.
Great, nice to see you.
Her beat? The best of everything. If she's blogging about it, you better believe you'll want to eat it. PHIM leads the foodie dream life, traveling the world in search of the next great meal. Whether it's a Michelin 3-star restaurant or a cup of coffee at home in San Francisco, a thumbs up from PHIM could create a foodie cult following.
Hey, PHIM, how are you?
How are you?
What do you need today?
Spices. I probably took my love of food from my grandfather. Peppers are what I'm looking for, actually. Dry peppers. He was a foodie before the term foodie was invented. He was always sending things back to the kitchen.
This is black pepper from China. It's really hard to find because you need to have a license for this one.
He just loved food, and he exposed me to a lot of interesting things and just taught me from a very young age that food's good.
It's called monk pepper because that's what the monk eat to fast.
Everywhere I am, I really want to try to find a taste or flavors that are local to that particular area. Hi, June.
Hi, PHIM.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming to the storeroom.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. In San Francisco, there are so many amazing things that you can get here that you can't find elsewhere.
I'm cooking off today a little bit of green gage plum into a fruit cheese, which is what these are here. This is Santa Rosa plum with Provençal lavender. So I'm going to be cooking the green gage to mold it, you know, in this kind of very traditional way.
Yay! It's always fun when I'm here to buy things from local producers. Also, you get to taste the culture from the food. This is great. Actually, in Thailand, we make candy out of tamarind paste that's cooked down with a lot of sugar. This reminds me a little bit of that texture. I started writing about food at about 2003. And I'm one of the earlier food bloggers. Hi, James.
PHIM, you found us. Welcome.
I am still surprised by the popularity of the blog.
Well, this is our roastery.
I never thought it was going to go anywhere. I started out writing for my friends, really. And yeah, it has opened quite a few doors.
I like PHIM's blog very much. There's a lot of blogs out there about food, and hers is really distinguished in being, I think, the most journalistic. It's personal, but it's not very snarky, it's not mean.
So what do you have going on today? What are you doing?
This is 25 pounds of Indian organic coffee. Is kind of rare. This is what it looks like if you haven't seen coffee before it's roasted.
It smells almost like tobacco.
Every coffee smells a little bit different. So every so often, as the roast is progressing, we'll just check it. It's starting to smell really nice.
Oh, yeah.
If you could make a little savory pudding that smell like that.
It smells like almost like popcorn.
So what we're looking for is an even color. It's nice and plump. You don't want it to be too dark. We'll wait for it to cool down for a few minutes, and then we're going to make some coffee.
No, it smells fabulous now.
You're not going to brew it the old-fashioned way. We're going to brew it the super cool Japanese way. One of the things I love about siphon pot coffee is that it can't be rushed. This is not a to-go kind of experience.
I don't drink black coffee at all usually. I drink latte. This is really very flavorful. Sometimes I do things that I may not normally do. I try to make sure I do something fun that I could write about. There's always something new and interesting to find in the food world. I don't consider myself jaded just because I eat out a lot and I try a lot of food. I'm always delighted by a good meal. The adventure is endless, really.
None of my readers know what I do for a living. No one in my office knows that I blog. I enjoy having a double life and escaping from work. My name is Josh, and my blog is called Char Siu Bao.
Josh is so serious about his cyber alter ego that he won't even let us tell you his last name. What he will tell you is everything you need to know about Chinese food. According to Josh, his hometown of Hong Kong is the food paradise of the East. Blogging in English, he dedicates his site to getting the word out on local specialties, demystifying Eastern delicacies for a global audience.
Char Siu Bao is my favorite dim sum. Basically, it's BBQ pork inside a bun.
Char siu, Daddy走啦。乖，唔好再去屙尿啊。
Yeah, I just tell him, don't pee. I'm very proud of Chinese food. I'm very proud. I think it is one of the best food in this world. I think people in the West, they always take Chinese food as a down market food. They don't know the truth about Chinese food. That's why I decided to write in English. I have some readers in Asia, also some readers in France, in the States. It's amazing. They come from all around the world. 過返南生圍啊嘛. So right now we are on the western part of Hong Kong, and not so many people knows about this place. It's quite far away from the city. 今日多唔多人啊？係啊。I was just asking how's the business today, and he said there's not so many because the weather is too hot. Oh, bye-bye. Okay, here we are. This is Sengay store. Store in Hong Kong can both mean a grocery store and also can mean some small greasy spoon local fare restaurant. Wow, 咁開心啊! Okay, it's very casual. You got friends to hang out here, drinking some beers, and they can play mahjong while they're having local Cantonese food. And that's simple, but at the same time, it's perfectly done, so it tastes excellent. And this place owned by Bill Gore. And 點解當初揀呢度咧？邊？Oh, Bill Gore was the former cook in one of the famous Cantonese restaurants in Hong Kong. So he learned the tricks. And then finally he opened his own store because he enjoys cooking and sharing good food with his friends. Now, yeah, this is the famous yellow oil crab. Why this one is so special is because the weather is so hot that this female mud crab, it becomes sick. And then the roe becomes like a liquid.
You heard right, sick crab. In Hong Kong, the summers can get so hot that the roe becomes liquefied inside a live crab. The result? A highly prized local delicacy.
In normal circumstances, we don't eat any food that's sick or rotten or bad. But this one is special because you can only have this during the hot summer and you only last for about 2 months. Ooh! Just look at this color. It's the color of the steamed crab. 1 or 2 out of 10 female crab is sick, so it's not easy to come by. And people actually drive hours from other part of Hong Kong to have this. Say hello to cholesterol. Yeah. Oh my God. Delicious. It has a very pungent flavor. It's very heady. And then at the same time, the wallet is very sweet. I love this place because I can have a feeling that I'm not in Hong Kong. I can totally withdraw myself from the daily hectic life in the workplace, in the office. And this is so surreal and tranquility mixing together. And at the same time, you have tasty food. So as a foodie, that's all you can ever ask for.
I don't know if I'm obsessed, but I do think about food all the time. And one of the reasons I moved to Paris is because it's a food-obsessed city. Food defines who we are as a culture. You mention Americans to anybody anywhere in the world and they think hamburgers, hot dogs, potato chips. There's a border between France and Italy, but the main difference is what they eat over there versus what they eat here. It's what defines us. My name is David Leibovitz, and my blog is davidleibovitz.com.
Once known as one of the best pastry chefs in San Francisco, including years with Alice Waters at Chez Panisse, David Leibovitz left it all behind to live the sweet life in Paris. A best-selling cookbook author, cooking instructor, ice cream and chocolate expert, Leibovitz specializes in dessert, with tips on where to find the best chocolate in Paris and recipes for what to do with it at home. His blog may be the sweetest spot on the web.
I moved to Paris for the croissants. And when I moved here, I pitched a few magazines and nobody was interested in what I had to say. Because frankly, what I have to say is a little more off the beaten track, shall we say. It also says the happy chickens. And what's curious now is a lot of the blogs, they have a higher readership than magazines and newspapers. Right now I'm getting about 7,000 visitors a day. A lot of people are interested. I want readers to feel like they're here with me in Paris. I might write about an old lady cutting me off at the market, elbowing me aside to get the shallots. I'll talk about trying to flush meringues down the toilet, the French plumbing system rebelling. That's what my life is, and that's my story here in Paris.
Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, madame. Je voudrais deux, s'il vous plaît.
Well, one of the great things about Paris is there's stores that specialize in things like eggs, cheese, butter, milk. So I buy eggs in the fromageries in Paris because the yolks are incredibly orange. They make incredibly good ice cream. And a lot of times in Europe, they don't put vanilla in things because the egg yolks actually provide flavor. I tend to walk everywhere, and because it's a walking city, and I've got to work off all the chocolate and ice cream I eat. We are at GEOGRAPHIC. To a pastry chef, it's the grand supermarket of food. I make a lot of ice cream, so I come here and buy things like chocolate. I buy nuts. They have all the things that I use daily in bulk. I'm going to make a vanilla ice cream, and then I'm going to take the chocolate that I get, melt it down, and make a stracciatella, which is sort of an Italian concept, but it's something that everybody can make at home very easily. When I write recipes, I try to do things that are kind of fun for people, but they're going to work. I'm going to look for just a good melting chocolate. Say, when you live here for a while, you get to see sort of the underbelly. You get to meet the chocolatiers, the people who make the ice cream, and they're all really fascinating characters. Okay.
Vous avez un 85%.
This is a chocolate with 85% cacao, which means it's very strong. But this is a lot. C'est difficile. C'est bon pour le...
Ouais, pour la distillation.
Well, I'm going to buy this because I'm walking home. This is a little... C'est difficile pour le métro. And I'm afraid I'll get attacked on the metro if people see me with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how to make a stracciatella, which is Italian for strings.
David Leibovitz and I are good friends. We hang out when we're in Paris. In fact, I think a few of our readers thought we were dating at one point, which was really funny.
That's the nice thing about cooking at home as opposed to restaurants. You can taste with your fingers.
We kind of fuel the fire by someone left a comment on my blog. I think it's that David Leibovitz you're dating. I'm like, not really, but I'm actually typing this answer on his bed. I was at his apartment borrowing his Wi-Fi.
I like it very much. As long as I like it, that's all I care about. I'm gonna try to get a good shot here.
I think people who read blogs have this very familiar kind of sentiment toward you because it feels like they're in your living room or they're in your kitchen reading about your life and reading about what you eat.
Wow, that's a great shot. Actually, a friend of mine said to me, she goes, am I going to have to do this the rest of my life? Because she has a very successful food blog. And when I started out with the blog, I thought, well, it's just going to be one of those internet things that goes away after a few years. And then I realized, no, it's actually going to become a part of our vocabulary. Like people thought the internet itself was going to be a fad, and now, we can't imagine life without it. Blogging is kind of an art. People that are good at writing something that people can latch on to immediately with a good photograph or a great story or a great hook, that's really what the medium is all about. I don't know what compels bloggers to share their life. But that's the good thing about the blogging medium is I write from a very personal point of view. The only way I'm going to stop blogging is if I lose my internet connection.